Hey, what's going on guys? Coach Seth here, Superior Athletes. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to add explosive power to your jump. So there's a few things we're going to be talking about here in this video, specifically 3 different things and 3 different components of training, just to kind of break down the movement of your actual jump. So I'm going to talk about certain exercises I like for each one of these and just the training style that I like to kind of start with and then just progress as you get better and as you move forward. So if you're new here, my name is Seth Thomas. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and I help you guys become better athletes for basketball. So if you're interested in more videos just like this one, make sure to subscribe. Click the bell to get notified for each one of my videos. For all my links and notes, make sure to check the description box below. Make sure to like, comment, and share this video out there to continue to help this channel grow. And if it's in your heart to support the channel, I have a Teespring store that is linked up in the description, so make sure to check that out. All right, guys, explosive power is what we're talking about in this video. Basically just your rate of force development. How much force can you apply to the ground, and how well your stretch shortening cycle is. How fast you can get through that movement of the jump. What it mainly comes down to is developing more fast twitch muscle fibers. So your body has fast twitch muscle fibers and slow twitch muscle fibers, and they need a good balance. But what you can do is have a little shift in your muscle fibers. So you got your fast twitch and slow twitch. You want them fairly even. With basketball, if we're talking basketball, we don't want our slow twitch like way down here and our fast twitch way up here, because that just means we're going to burn out very easily. We're very explosive, but we're going to burn out very easily as well. So I don't want to get too deep into fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video kind of directed towards this topic. But really the main goal here is to get that slight shift, maybe 60-40 of your fast twitch and slow twitch. So doing that, we're going to talk about 3 different components. 3 different methods of training that I like to kind of do in my training programs. And it's just a way to break down the movement of the jump, just so we can kind of develop all the components of the actual jump. So we always start with the foundation, the start of the movement. So that's going to be the eccentric part of the movement. So eccentric just means the motion of the movement where the muscle groups lengthen. So it's basically just the lengthening of the muscle group. So for an example, if we're talking your bicep, the eccentric motion of the bicep is whenever you're extending the arm. So that's the extension of the bicep, which would be the eccentric portion. So that's what we would focus on first, and that's what we would work to improve. So this is going to help your body's ability to absorb force, and whenever you do it that way, that kind of gets you started. Your body's ability to absorb force is part of how well it generates force. So this is probably a step that most people don't really care about, because we're just focusing on the down portion of the jump. So we're not directly attacking the actual jump, obviously. So it can get overlooked quite a bit, but this is a very important component of the jump. And I like to do two different styles of eccentric training. Training the eccentric portion of the jump, as well as that force absorption that it's going to be training. It's also going to be training your durability as well. The eccentric strength of your muscles and your tendons. And that can be very important injury-wise. So there are certain plyos that I like to do for this component, and there's also certain strengthening exercises I like to do. So like I said, this is kind of how I like to program things. This is where I usually start off in my programming, and then just work my way up towards more advanced stuff. Not necessarily more advanced. You can get some pretty advanced progressions with the eccentric portion. So it can be anything from a drop. Like I usually like to start with some squat drops or some depth drops. So those are the very basic ones. There's so many different ways to progress that movement, but those are the type of things that I like to start with as far as like the plyos. This is also great for improving your mechanics for your actual jump as well. It's a great way to just think about the jump and just sort of work on it as you're doing these movements. And for the strengthening, we're just focusing on going down slow, and that's what it comes down to really. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I like to start off by like doing a eccentric squat, where you just count 3 seconds coming down and then just normal speed coming up. Or there's a lot of progressions where I like to go down slow and then just kind of explode up, or going down slow and do a little pause at the bottom and then come up. A lot of different ways, a lot of different angles you can go at eccentric exercises. So we'll go ahead and go to the next one. The next one I like to focus on is isometric. Isometric exercises, that just means the activation of your muscles and tendons without there being any lengthening or shortening of the muscles or tendons. So this one's going to be doing a couple things. This is going to be training your body to be able to maintain stiffness through the movement. And it's also going to be training your body's ability to activate the correct muscles whenever you're going through your jump. So our body's ability to maintain stiffness through the actual jump or whatever movement we're doing, it's just going to help us change directions and change the momentum of your body's movement. So you're transitioning from that eccentric motion and then going from there and going upwards. So isometric exercises are going to be very important for the jump. Even though we're not directly working those fast twitch muscle fibers, almost like the eccentric component, not directly working the fast twitch muscle fibers, basically preparing the body to improve those fast twitch muscle fibers. But exercises I like for this, there's a lot of different ones I like to go with. Any type of hold, so you can just go to the bottom of a squat, or do like a quarter squat, and where you're actually doing the jump. So with this, I like to, you can just use that same example, that squat drop. I like to pause a little bit whenever we're doing the squat drops anyways, but you could go down, pause a little bit more, and just kind of just maintain that stiffness. You could do a depth drop with this, but not absorb quite as much, so it's more of a stop. I really like the jump to split lands. Those are good, and make sure we just get it. What we're doing here, we're training that eccentric with a lot of these, well, a lot of the plyos at least, but it just directs more attention to the actual hold of the movement. So we're landing, we're holding. We're landing, we're holding. That's basically what it comes down to as far as the plyos go. Now with the strength, we're just going to be doing something like a squat hold, or maybe a lunge hold. There's a lot of different holds I like. Planks are as well, with that strengthening of the core. You got glute bridge holds. There's a lot of things that I kind of like to sprinkle in with the isometrics as well. And the last component of increasing your explosiveness in the actual jump is going to be the concentric part of the movement. So this one's what most people are more used to training, or it's more of like the direct way of training the jump, or the explosiveness of the jump. And this is what's really going to work those muscle fibers and work those, developing those fast twitch muscle fibers. And it's going to be training how well your body is able to go through that triple extension. Extending at the hips, knees, ankles, triple extension throughout the lower body is what we're working on with this. So the concentric is basically when our muscles and tendons of the body, of the lower body at least, shorten. So it's when they contract. So like back to that bicep example, it's whenever it comes this way, it shortens it. How fast can we get through that motion is what we're kind of training here. As far as plyos go, starting off, I like to kind of get rid of the eccentric with certain things. So you can do like a seated box jump where it gets rid of that absorption, so it just breaks things down just like we're doing with the eccentric portion. So I kind of like to start off with that way, and then let that lead into like the actual full motion of the jump. You can just do like overload strengthening concentrically. Obviously, we're going to be needing to work that concentric strength, but as far as explosiveness goes, whenever we do develop that concentric strength, I like to go to more explosive styles whenever we're using the weights. Like for a squat example, we'll go now to a half squat or something. Maybe we go down eccentrically and then we go up as fast as possible. So a lot of times we're gonna have to drop the weight to a level to where we can develop that speed in the movement. If we have too much weight, a lot of the times we're just going up just that normal rate, and we want to be working a little bit quicker with that movement. So I know that was kind of a lot to cover in one video, but breaking things down like this into these components and the movements of the body and of the jump, it's really going to, and training each one of these individually, not necessarily individually, but having the idea of training them separately, it's going to help the body move more effectively through the movement of the jump. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything. As always, make sure to subscribe, click the bell to get notified for each one of my videos, and I'll see you guys next time.